welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're tackling something really central, financial freedom. It feels like it should be achievable for so many people, right? But, well, the reality often looks different.
It really does.
And we're not just going to sit here and say, save more money.
Yeah.
That's not the point today. We want to dig into the kind of hidden reasons why it stays out of reach, even for capable folks.
Exactly. That usual advice, it just scratches the surface. We need to get into the deeper currents driving our money habits and where we end up.
Right. And let's be clear from the start. Financial freedom, it doesn't mean the same thing to everyone.
Not at all.
For you listening, maybe it's quitting the 9-to-5, traveling constantly.
Yeah.
For someone else, maybe it's just passive income covering the bills.
Yeah.
Less pressure.
That personal definition is it's crucial. It gives you the why, the reason for the effort.
So let's get you thinking right now. What does financial freedom specifically look like in your world? Is there an actual number? Like how much money feels like freedom to you? And picture a typical day in that future. What are you doing? Take a second. Really try to crystallize that. It's like the compass for everything we'll talk about.
Yeah, without that clear vision, it's so easy to get sidetracked or just lose motivation down the line.
Okay, so let's jump into something that's everywhere now.
Yeah.
The siren call of getting rich quick.
Oh, yeah.
You scroll through Instagram, TikTok, bam, stories of overnight success, crypto millionaires, drop shipping empires, Amazon FBA geniuses, AI businesses popping up.
It's amazing how powerful that idea is, isn't it? The rapid transformation, these platforms, they amplify the outliers, the big wins. It gives you a really skewed picture of how it usually works.
And the actual reality, which I think most of us kind of know deep down, is that building real, lasting wealth, it's usually about consistency, discipline, habits, not a lottery ticket.
Right.
So what's the deal with these get-rich-quick things? Why are they so tempting? What's the psychology?
Well, there are a few things going on. One big one is just instant gratification. We're kind of wired to want rewards now. Patience is hard.
It is. And often there's a lack of, let's say, deep financial education, maybe?
Yeah.
Or understanding the real work and risk involved. So the promises sound, well, more believable than they maybe are.
Which kind of leads us perfectly into the next piece. The mental side of money, our mindset.
Ah, yes.
It turns out financial freedom isn't just about the dollars and cents. It starts way earlier, like in your head.
Absolutely. Your mindset, it's like the filter for everything related to money, how you see it, how you interact with it. And we see people unintentionally, well, sabotaging themselves because of these hidden negative beliefs.
Beliefs like, oh, I'm just not a money person, or investing, that's way too complicated, it's for experts, or even that old one, rich people must be greedy.
Exactly. And those aren't just throwaway thoughts. They can be really powerful subconscious roadblocks.
It's interesting how they can become like self-fulfilling.
Totally. If you truly believe you're bad with money, you might avoid learning about it, avoid taking action. And guess what? You stay bad with money. It reinforces the belief. So this is where that idea of a scarcity mindset versus a wealth mindset comes in.
Scarcity is all about limitation, fear, not enough. Wealth mindset is more focused on possibility, growth, abundance.
And it's not just about thinking positive, is it?
No, it's deeper. It's about digging up those core beliefs, seeing how they actually drive your financial choices day to day.
Okay, so here's a little mini challenge for you listening. Grab a piece of paper or open a note on your phone. Just jot down the first few thoughts or feelings that pop up when you think about money. Don't filter it.
Yeah, just let it flow.
Now look at what you wrote. Is it mostly about limits, worries, difficulty? Or is there more a sense of possibility, opportunity? It can be pretty revealing.
That awareness, that's the first massive step. You can't shift what you don't acknowledge.
Right. Okay, let's pivot a bit to something more practical. Structure. Or often the lack of it. We're talking about people earning decent money, maybe even really good money, but they're still somehow living paycheck to paycheck or just not getting ahead.
Oh, it's super common. And it often boils down to some basic structural gaps. Things like no clear budget, no set savings rate, like automatically putting money aside, maybe not really knowing where the money goes each month.
Yeah, the tracking part.
And often no actual investment strategy, just kind of hoping for the best.
And like we said, this usually isn't about people being bad or lazy. It's often just, we weren't taught this stuff. School doesn't typically cover practical personal finance.
Exactly right. But the good news, the empowering part, is that the information and tools are out there now. more than ever.
Totally.
Think about YouTube channels dedicated to finance, podcasts like this one, books, budgeting apps, you mentioned Finance Guru. Even a simple Excel sheet can work wonders.
So if you feel a bit lost in your finances, maybe start with getting a handle on 3 key numbers. Just 3.
Okay.
Number 1, what are your average monthly expenses? Really know that number. 2, how much are you consistently saving each month? Your savings rate. And 3, what's your current net worth? Assets minus debts.
Those 3, yeah. They give you a baseline, a snapshot of where you stand right now.
It's like your financial vital signs. You need to know them to track progress or even set realistic goals.
Precisely. You can't really navigate without knowing your starting point.
Okay, let's shift gears again. Let's talk about patience.
Ah, the tough one in today's world.
Right. It feels almost like an old-fashioned idea, but when it comes to building financial freedom, it's just absolutely essential. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Couldn't agree more. Slow and steady really does tend to win this race. Genuine shortcuts to long-term wealth are, well, they're incredibly rare, mostly myths.
Let's use an example to make it concrete. Imagine you invest, say, €500 every single month.
Okay.
And let's assume you get an average return of 7% a year, which historically isn't unreasonable for diversified investments, although, past results don't guarantee future ones.
Sure, standard disclaimer.
If you do that consistently for 20 years, that €500 a month could grow to nearly 250,000 datablow.
That's the power of compounding right there. Your money starts making money.
Exactly. But the problem is, like you said, patience.
Huh?
So many people start, maybe they invest for a year, maybe 2, and they look at their balance and it hasn't exploded yet. It feels slow.
Yeah, they feel like, is this even worth it? It's barely moved. They don't see that exponential curve starting to kick in yet, which happens later.
And they give up. They think they need the hot stock or the quick business win instead. But the real message here is persistence is usually the key. Just sticking with it.
That long-term view lets you ride out the market bumps, the ups and downs, and really let that compounding magic happen over decades. It's powerful stuff, but it demands time.
Okay, finally, let's touch on something that can be a bit uncomfortable, but it's crucial. Consumption versus investment, our spending choices.
Right. This is where the rubber meets the road, where our stated values, like wanting freedom, clash with our daily actions sometimes.
Think about it and be honest with yourself. How many people upgrade to the latest iPhone the second it comes out? Or book those really expensive holidays, buy the designer labels, but maybe they haven't set up an automatic monthly investment into something simple like an ETF, a diversified fund.
It really highlights that tension, doesn't it? The immediate hit of pleasure from buying something new versus the delayed gratification of investing in your future self, your future security.
And look, we're not saying you should never have fun or never buy nice things.
Of course not. Life's for living.
But it is about making conscious choices, understanding the trade-off. Every euro or dollar spent today on something that won't last, well, that's a euro that could have been working for your future freedom.
It's about making sure your spending actually aligns with what you say your big goals are. Priority.
So here's a final thought exercise for you on this. Look back at your spending over the last month or two. How many of those purchases, honestly, will still be providing real, meaningful value to you in, say, 5 years?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's just a way to check in on your priorities, what's fleeting versus what's building something lasting.
It forces you to think about the real return on your spending beyond just that initial buzz.
So wrapping this all up, the main takeaway is that financial freedom. It's probably within reach for way more people than currently believe it is.
Yeah, I genuinely believe that.
The roadblocks often aren't about how much you earn. It's more about these things we've discussed, the mindset, the structure, the patience, the spending choices.
And that leads to the really challenging question you need to ask yourself. Do you truly want financial freedom? Or are you maybe more attached to the lifestyle, the habits, the consumption patterns right now that might actually be preventing it?
Oof, that's a tough one. Because if you do truly want that freedom, it means you probably need to take a really honest look at your relationship with money. You need to build those consistent saving and investing habits. You need to cultivate patience for the long haul. And ultimately, you need to take ownership, full responsibility.
Yeah, it's about shifting from just wishing for a better financial future to actively, deliberately building one step by step.
And maybe, just maybe, if we're being really honest, sometimes the only thing actually holding you back is you.
That self-awareness, though, and the willingness to change, That's incredibly powerful. That's your biggest asset, really.
So if this deep dive sparks something for you, maybe hit the share button. Send it to someone you know who could use a bit more financial clarity, perhaps.
Yeah, and we'd actually love to hear from you too. What are the specific hurdles you're facing right now on your journey?
Absolutely. Jump over to our Instagram or YouTube comments. Let us know the biggest obstacle you're dealing with. We might just tackle those specific topics in a future deep dive.
Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.